Hello, everybody. My name is Seahawks United, and welcome to FTL. I was actually creating my first video for the channel when I just couldn't help myself but explain the game more. I was getting lucky, but man, I couldn't go through the whole game without you guys knowing how the game works and all the in or out details. For who don't know this game, it's called FTL Faster Than Light. Your whole goal is to go around in your ship, go through different sectors, and survive to beat the final boss, which is extremely hard. I think, let's see here, I can actually check my stats. Let's see. Yeah, I have 23 victories with 175 played. Yes, that is that is how much this game I've played and how hard it is. So, yeah, like see, this one didn't even win the game, and I still had a pretty good score, even on easy. This game is really hard that I only have one victory in normal. Yeah, it's really hard. I've kind of mastered easy, so I've been going for normal more recently, but I think I'll play an easy one for you guys when I do my video. But anyway, let's start off with the ships. So first, ships. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different types of ships you can start kind of out with or get really easily. This ship that's locked is extremely hard to get. It's a special type of ship that you have to unlock using this ship, which, fun fact, I hate missile type weapons, but we'll get there later. And you have to use them to get there, and you basically have to get like 3 chain events in a row, which is extremely hard to get in this game. So yeah. Honestly, I'd be willing to do a run over it if you guys wanted. Comment down below if you'd want to see that. I've already tried to in the past, and I just couldn't get it, so I gave up on it. But anyway, let's start out with... We'll go this ship and kind of explain the basics. Every single ship has different weapons, different systems, so you can really kind of play your style of game. But we're going to first off start with the different systems on a ship. So first you have your shields. These block any type of laser weapon. It's pretty obvious which one shoots lasers, which one shoots missiles. Missiles will always kind of look in this style. For example, see, these are all missiles. There you have bombs, which also counts as missiles. Anything that uses kind of an explosive is considered a missile, so this would also be swarm missiles again. And then there's also laser type weapons, which shoot lasers, and that's what shields are for. Shields block lasers, so they're pretty good. Then you have your engine, which increases your dodge chance, and kind of a hidden stat over on the far side over there, which I can't get my mouse over there. But it is the FTL, or how fast you can get out of a situation, goes up, and your dodge goes up in increments as well. And the higher dodge is, basically, as you can see at the 30 scrap level, dodge is 20. That basically means you have a 20% chance to dodge any given shot. So any missile or laser, you are given 20% to miss. Anyway, back to where I was. Had a quick sip of water. So yes, that's the engines. They help with your dodge chance. Next is your oxygen. Oxygen, obviously, very important to any type of life form. You're gonna need it. So just make sure you're always up and running. And this ship's kind of in the corner. They could be all over the ship. Next is weapons. Obviously, you gotta hold weapons. Certain ships hold different amounts of weapons. So this ship comes with 4, this one comes with 2. Every ship's kind of randomized, and like see, this ship can only hold 3 weapons. So there's different kind of play styles you can do. This one holds 4. Next is the med bay. The med bay, if you go and put any person inside of it, will heal it. Obviously very important. Next is the piloting system. The interesting thing about the piloting system is that if it goes down, you have a 0% chance to evade. Yes, you heard that right. 0. So you will get hit no matter what. So you really want to have that up and running at all times. Do not let that go down. Otherwise, you're going to get hit very, very quickly. These 3 do not require power, which I will explain just after it, but they don't. They come with it per upgrade, so luckily you don't have to waste any power on it. But next is your sensors, which shows you your ship. If these go down, every room will turn gray, and you will not see what's inside of each room unless you have a person in there. Obviously, you can see. So if you have a fire, which can happen in this game, when you get shot by different types of weapons, like this one, if you look on to the right side of the screen, fire chance low means it has a low chance to start a fire. If there's a fire, you can see it, but without your system, you can't, which can be dangerous. So just make sure it's up. And then doors, obviously, you have your doors. The higher level, the harder it is for people to get through them. So if you have an enemy that gets beamed on your ship from another system, which I'll explain next, these open ports at the end here, if you open those up, it's leading to space. So obviously, there's not going to be any oxygen in there. So if you trap someone in these rooms, they'll start taking damage from no oxygen. So it is nice to have doors up kind of in a later stage. But yes, so these are kind of the basic systems. I would really recommend using, obviously, I think you start out with the Kestrel first. This ship, the Red Tail, the next level, you unlock these by doing certain kind of achievements. And they're right here. They'll tell you if you want to know. Yep, there they are. Got to get those. I would recommend the B. This is my favorite type of ship. I love the beginning weapons, and I just kind of get lucky with this ship. It is one of my favorites to play early game because it destroys early game, and I love it. So if you want to start out new to the game, I recommend the ship. Gives you the basic functions and kind of helps early game, and you get a nice view of the people here, which I'll explain after the systems. Let's go to a different type of system to show you guys. Here. So earlier when I talked about beaming, this right here and this is the beam. I'll give it better so you can see here. There we go. Ooh, a little Easter egg there for you, for the people. Kind of a special person there. But anyway, yes, you have your teleporter bed. This will launch any crewmate you put in this room into the other person's ship, and they will start destroying any room. So if you put them in their auction room, they will destroy it and then move on to the next. Obviously, crew of that ship's not gonna be happy. They'll fight you, and that's a whole game aspect that I'm sure you'll see in future runs, because I don't think I'll be using it in my main run that I'll do next. But yes, another system that this ship has is Clone Bay. So in FTL, healing your people is important for when they take damage. If you get, let's say, I'm playing as this ship and a weapon comes and hit my guy right here, I could just go over to the med bay, turn the power, and you'll heal. But in this ship, he has a clone bay. So basically, there's no way to heal your people while you're at a certain space. But every time you jump to a different system, which is a game aspect that I'm sure I'll explain in gameplay, is you get health, and then every time a person dies, as you see on the right, it takes 12 seconds for the level 1 to basically clone that person back. So this is a different aspect if you really want to teleport people and just kind of on-barrage them with people. You can do that in this game. Very interesting aspect. I'm not a big fan of the beaming aspect of the game, but it can be very strong in certain types of ships. Let's go. Yes, here. This is an interesting ship for sure. Has no shields, and it has this thing, cloaking. So this is the best item or best system in the game. It costs 150 scrap to buy if you don't have it in the beginning, which, let me tell you, it is the most expensive thing you can buy. Basically, it makes you invisible, adding 60 evasion. So basically, you are impossible to hit if you have any sort of engines. So even here, look at if I were to start with this ship, I would instantly have 80 evasion. So they would have a 20% chance to hit me while this is active. It's only active at level 1 for 5 seconds, so you can maybe miss a couple shots, but the main part in the beginning of this ship is hard, but end game cloaking is amazing if you want to dodge. So that is something brilliant to have late game. I would highly recommend it. Oh no, hacking. Yeah. Oh, and there's another one. Hacking. So basically, this sends out a little hacker drone that attaches to their ships, and if you target, let's say, weapons, it will shut weapons down for a certain amount of time. So see how it says 4 seconds disruption. Basically, shuts them down. So every weapon has to charge up to shoot. It just basically resets that counter, slowly going down as the hack goes on. So if this is like, let's say, no, never mind, up top it says 16. So it takes 16 seconds to charge. Hacking would just let it go down more. Then finally, I'm not sure if any ships start out with it, because it's very, very overpowered. Yeah, no. But there's mind control, which basically, if I were to hit someone with mind control, they basically turn into a friendly crewmate and will attack the system that they're in. So I love doing that. In the game, I love hitting it with their pilot system, because if you hit their pilot, they technically do not have a captain, and if they have level 1 pilot, which let's be real, I don't ever upgrade this until the final battle. So if you hit my captain, or let's say they might control my captain, I will have a 0% chance to dodge, which is not good. So mind control is one of my favorites. I love playing with it. It's just really fun to kill a ship instantly without ever having their captain realize that, oh, I'm mind controlled. So that's one of my favorite aspects. It's mind control, but then again, if you're getting into the game, it kind of can be confusing. So you kind of just play around with it a bit once you kind of get a little better. I wish there was a kind of a sandbox game mode to this to kind of go in and test everything, but there's not. Best thing you can do is go into easy and just get better at the game to eventually where now I can go into easy and win any run. Alright, next up, let's talk about people. That's one of my favorites as well. So here's regular. There's different types of crewmates, as you can see here. There is, I'll go in order, kind of most common. Actually, all of them can occur evenly, but in beginning ships, you're going to start with humans. So on the right side, it says they improve their skills slightly faster. So basically what that means is they can learn faster than any other type of crewmate. Meaning, if I were to fire a weapon, I believe, I wish it showed you, but you can master a weaponry. So I think the first level is like 50. So if I shoot my weapons 50 times, he gets a little upgrade, a little star next to his stats that say he's better at shooting weapons, and then he will be able to fire weapons faster. So even though it says charge time of 12 seconds, if he's upgraded, it will probably go down to like 11 or 10. Make sure you have people, in the main systems here to really upgrade their stats, and I believe it does say what they help out with in game, which I can show you in a minute. So earlier I was explaining the evasion and all that, your skills. Here's a perfect example. This is what it shows you. So this guy, Ashia, is on weapons. So if they fire it 58 times, they will go up a level. There's 3 levels. You start out level 1, then next level 2 gives you 10% faster charge, as it says there, and then I think the next level goes up another 10. So I think at the end you have a 20% faster charge time. So if you keep people in their rooms, they will go up eventually. And every system is different. So this is the piloting. So my pilot, if they evade 13 shots, they go up 5 evasion. Same with my engines. The engines is a little harder, I think. Or they could be the same. I always forget the engines and stuff. But if they dodge 13, they get plus 5. Shields are not that important to put someone in. If you're going to put anyone anywhere, I would highly recommend putting them in the piloting, engines, then weapons. Shields can go last. But, yep, 10% faster for 50 times to hit the shields. Then you have the repair. Every time you repair, you got to repair 16 things. I rarely get this one. This one's super hard to level up just because I like having people in their own systems. I don't like having them go away so I can get the bonuses eventually down the line. But if I have to go repair something, I just do the closest. I never put one person on it because it's kind of useless. Then finally, you have attacking. So the mantises, you'll really get this up. It just increases the damage. So a mantis can do so much damage if you get this increased. Next, let's talk about the Zoltan. So the Zoltans, they're interesting. Basically, they are like energy sources. So if you put them in a room, they automatically will generate 1 free energy. So if you put them in weapons, you get a free energy slot because since they're in it. So any room they're in will gain energy. So if you put them in the med bay will instantly go online because it has power. So they're helpful, but their downside is they only have 70 health out of 100. They lost 30 health, so they're easier to die. And if they do die, they do 15 damage to the enemy crew and your crew, I believe, when they die. So you kind of got to be careful. Do not use them in fights unless you have to. Obviously, if you're going to run a Zoltan ship with only Zoltan, you're going to have to fight with them, which can be hard. Next, let's talk about NGs. I think they're my favorite. No, they're my second favorite type of crewmate, mainly because they do, there it is, the repair speed is doubled. So if my shields get injured and they go completely down, they repair it twice as fast, which is amazing. So if you ever have an NG on your ship, I would highly recommend having them in your main systems. Your main systems are engines, shields, weapons, and you could count pilot, but if you have a human or anyone as a pilot, you're gonna be fine. Or your drones. If kind of depends on your style. If you're going weapons or you're going drones, keep it in whatever main one you have. But if you can, I would recommend having engines, weapons, and shields first. These all take skill points, and I highly recommend having them in there. You will get the most out of them. Those are NGs. Also, their downside, they are terrible at fighting. They do half damage, so never ever use them in a fight. They will die. They're garbage at fighting. Please do not use them. It would hurt my soul. Next up, let's go to my favorite, the Mantis. We'll get a Mantis ship here, so you can see. Here's the Mantis. Mantis, they move faster, and they inflict it's right there, 1.5 damage in combat. So obviously, do 1 point more damage to any crewmate when fighting them. Again, with the teleporter, if they do, you can fight them to do 1.5 damage, and they move really fast, which is super good, but they can't repair anything, halving repair speed. So if anything was to get damaged, and you only had Mantis like this ship, you're going to be there a while. Funny story in this ship, I actually lost a run because my oxygen went out, and I didn't have, they could not repair it fast enough before they would die, so I kept having to bring them back, and there was just no way to repair it, and I had to slowly die to no oxygen, which is super embarrassing. So yeah, this is one of my worst ships. I do not like this ship. It's super hard. I don't think I've ever actually won on this ship. Yeah. So Mantis, I love them for their speed and their attack ability. They're just so good defensive or attacking. But you need someone else other than just one Mantis to arm the ship. That's why this is one of my favorite ships, because they have a Mantis to defend, extra energy, and they have people to kind of just even it out. Next, let's talk about rock people. Rock people are interesting because they're immune to fire, because rocks don't do anything to fire. Their downside is their movement speed is half, so it takes them forever to move anywhere. So if you have someone on your ship that's attacking your shields and is about to take it down, it's going to take them a minute to get there, and it can cause a lot of problems. But a good thing is that they have way more health. They have 150 health. They gained 50 health just from being rock. So in a fight, they're going to do pretty well in a fight. They'll most likely live. I can't tell if their attack speed is halved. I don't think it is, though. So they're pretty good to have in a fight as well, but they're not Mantises, and I believe a Mantis will actually kill a rock person, even with the extra health, because they're so good at fighting. Let's see, next. Next is the slugs. I don't run across many slugs in this game, to be honest with you. They're kind of a rare species. That's because they have telepathic powers that can reveal rooms and life forms even when the sensors are down. So as you see on this ship, we have no sensors, so I can't see if there's fire or anything like that, even with their telepathic ability. But what I can do is I can tell other ships where they are, so I don't even need systems to see where they are, which really helps with this type, this ship, because this kills people. So basically, they get wall hacks. It's pretty cool. They get wall hacks. They can see where everyone is, and they're immune to mind control, which obviously mind control, as I said earlier, is my favorite, which I luckily don't run across many slug ships, but when I do, it is kind of annoying if I do have mind control because I can't do anything about it. But yeah, so slugs are pretty good. I do like them in some scenarios, but not all. And finally, let's go to the Lanus, or Lanus. I can never say that. I called them Lantis for some reason. I add a T in there. I do that with a lot of things. Just kind of like adding names. But basically, they don't need oxygen. Yeah, you heard that right. They don't need oxygen to live. These guys are special. They have slow movement, but no damage from lack of oxygen. They're not as slow as rock people. They're a little slower, but they don't need oxygen, which is so good. And they drain oxygen, as you can see here. So if I were to move, let's say this guy right over here into this room would eventually run out of oxygen because they suck it all up, which is pretty good. And this ship is one of my favorites to deal with the Lantis. Oh, yeah, wait, never mind. This ship does come with mind control. That's why it's also one of my favorites. It comes with mind control, so it's super good in the beginning. But yes, I believe that's all the type of people, if I'm not mistaken. Let's talk about augmentations next. Augmentations are special kind of abilities you can add to your ship. So this one, your crew takes half damage from low oxygen. That's just kind of what it has. And let's get to a good one. Rock. The rock ships come with rock plating. Superior hull armor has a 15% chance to negate incoming damage. Basically, if I was to get hit by anything, there's a 15% chance it just doesn't do damage. It will still hurt the room. So, like, if this room gets hit, it will lose function, but it doesn't overall do damage to your hull or your ship's health. Luckily, so this can be good. I have survived on 1 health before, I believe, with, I think it's an achievement. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not, but I have actually lived on 1 health because of the rock planting, and it was amazing. I do like that one. Yes, there's tons of different ones. This one has 15% to which one is it? The systems. This one's kind of the opposite. Systems might not get damaged, but the hull still will. So yes, there's multiple. There's no way I can explain all of them. Another huge one you're going to run into, which is super annoying, is the Zoltan shield. These guys and these types of ships are really good at energy, like I said earlier. So basically, they have a shield around their ship that can take 5 damage. Or no, I want to say, yeah, it's 5 damage every time you jump. So that one's a pretty good one. You can actually get it with any type of ship in game through a very certain event here, the Zoltan Cruiser Quest. Every ship has a quest you can get through, and they're super rare to find. I've happened to find, I think, most of them. I haven't found the Mantis, or I just haven't done them. Like I've gotten most of them, and you can actually get the Zoltan ship from the mission. So I've actually had it on, I think it was this ship I had it on, which was super good. But yes, let's talk about energy actually. So here's your max amount of energy right here. This is all you can use, and every single system uses 1. So this weapon uses 1 bar of energy, and it will tell you what you can use. You can get a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 25. You can get 25 energy. Normally, with a Zoltan person, you can get 26 or however many you have, because they automatically generate energy just by being in a room. So that is also, again, earlier, a plus of them. But obviously here it is. This is your cost to upgrade. So I only have 30. So if I want to upgrade my engines to go up to 15% dodge, I can easily do it. But obviously, I couldn't pay for the energy. So, see, it is useless. I don't have enough power to upgrade it. So you must manage that. You must manage your power and all your systems accordingly. Just make sure you have kind of enough power for shields, engines, and weapons. These are the main ones. And obviously, always keep oxygen on, because if you turn it off, you will slowly start to lose oxygen in all rooms at the same time. So kind of make sure that's up. Next, let's talk about the positioning. Here's the positioning. So every single person has a room. Let's say you want this to be the normal setup, like it started out with. You can click this. It saves your current position. So let's say, actually, you know what, Lang, me and Lang go way back. I want him in weapons. Just because, I don't know, I just like it. I actually unpaused. So let's say I want this to be the new normal. I'd click this button. But let's say these two guys were over repairing the... I don't care if I get hit here. It doesn't really matter. Okay, here's a perfect example. Let's say these guys are in here fixing this. This would be a great example. So they're going to fix this. They'll lose a little bit of health because there's no oxygen in here. Showing you guys earlier, I forgot to close the doors. Oh, they fixed it. There we go. So let's see how they just got done with this. And I want them to go back to their spaces immediately. I don't care about your heal. You don't need it. You would click this button. This returns to their positions. So, as earlier, Ashia was at the weapons and Lang was at the engines. So I remember I wanted to switch it. I forgot to press this button. So now they go back to the normal. I just feed the ship. Didn't even try. I'm too good. I'd click this button and then it saves. Oh. So now this is their normal position. So if I even click it, they stay there. So if you ever want to switch your order around, like if I had a Mantis and here, I would probably move them out and move in someone who has better repair, and I would want them to go over here, and then you'd save. So that's how you move your people around and keep them there. And if you ever need them to go back, you just press that button. It's very, very simple. Next, let's talk about your essentials. So the essentials, I kind of forgot to explain earlier. It's kind of self-explanatory. You have your fuel. Every single jump you do uses one fuel. So you kind of have to manage this. You'll get fuel from destroying ships and doing its events and stuff. Fuel's not something you really have to pay attention to, but once it gets lower, like if you're in the 7 range, you're gonna want to kind of keep an eye on it. I always like to have an excess just because I don't like running out of fuel. If you run out of fuel, let's see if I can show you guys. I can't show it because I'm not out of fuel, but when you're out of fuel, there would be a button that says turn emergency beacon on, and when you turn it on, it gives you an event most times. Sometimes it doesn't if you're unlucky, but this will always come closer. I'll explain this in a second. But yes, if you run out of fuel, you cannot move from your spot, and you will sit there until that emergency beacon, someone comes to either help you or it's a person selling fuel. Just kind of depends on the random scenario. Now let's talk about what is this? What is this whole red thing, and why is there a whole bunch of badness? Basically, this is the rebel fleet. This right here, they are chasing you. So this arrow right here explains that next jump, these stations will be taken over. So you always want to make sure you are jumping the spaces outside this red line. So make sure you're always outside this red line. And if you do happen to get caught, like here, this spot, you can only jump from here. So if I accidentally go down here for like a quest, I would then have to fight through a rebel-controlled system. Basically, this makes it extremely hard to get out. Their ships are very decked out. You will die, most likely, if you go in here. If you're really stacked, you can survive it, but it is super hard to survive it. Try to always stay above this red line, and you'll be perfectly fine. There's really no reason you should get caught unless you accidentally go over here, like to a dead zone. There's sometimes where there'll be a jump like right here, and you're thinking you can get across, but you can't. So make sure you kind of hover about over it, and you'll see the yellow line where you can jump. So just make sure you're always standing above this red line. Here is what happens at an exit beacon. You get this menu. So this menu is extremely important in planning out your run. Here is the final sector. This is the boss. Once you reach this, you're at the boss. As you can see, you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So once you hit this is the 6th sector. This is the final sector till the last. So you're going to want to go through all of them. And let's see here. So green is civilian. This means you're going to run into more friendly events. So you always want to aim for civilization. They have more stores. They have more stress beacons. It's just a nicer time. Hostile zones, you're going to encounter more pirates, in this case, or rebels, or any type of hostile species. The mantis are actually hostile in this universe, so This could have been a Mantis one as well, and you'll just encounter more. So if it says pirate controlled, you're going to run it into more pirates in the sector. And it goes for civilians. It will tell you, obviously it doesn't give you ahead of time, so you can't really plan your route. You just kind of got to get lucky. But nebula systems are my ultimate worst. So normally in any given system, pirate or civilian control, it's going to look like this. You're going to have normal beacons, but in a nebula, let's go check it out to give you guys a view. Yeah, this doesn't look so good. Yeah, you have a whole lot of nebula. Basically what a nebula does is it knocks down sensors, so you have no sensors for the rest of the time as long as you are in these blue highlighted spaces. This is normal ones. This will look like a normal jump, but anything that's blue is inside a nebula. And special thing about nebula, if I can, let's see if I can even get it. Here it is. There we go. Here, so basically this can happen in nebulas. So this is a storm. So basically what this does, it halves your energy. So if you're in a nebula, there's a random chance. It doesn't tell you. There's just a random chance. You can see all the places I jumped trying to find this. There's a random chance this can happen. You will lose half your energy and is a pain in the booty. Because you see, I don't even have enough weapons. Look, I don't have enough energy to start my weapons. So, get rid of medbay and go here. It's like I have enough, but I have no shields. Can barely have this. Storms are the worst. I have died a couple times in storms just because I have so much energy that cutting in half can really kill you. I do not like nebula systems, so if you want a pro tip here, I would recommend avoiding nebulas if you can. Special events can happen in them, so you're gonna miss out on stuff like that. But overall, I just don't like nebulas. Oh, they're so annoying. Alright, thank you for tuning into this video. I believe I showed off everything I could. If you have any specific questions on any ships, I'd be more than willing to help. Just add a comment down below. And yes, thank you for joining the video. My name's Seahawks United, and I'll see you guys later.